Anna-Marie Dowling from the United Kingdom, General Manager of Nofa Resort, a Radisson Collection hotel. I've been in the region now for nearly 8 years. I started off in Bahrain for 3.5 years, then I moved to Oman, then I took some time out to spend with my family, and I was looking for a resort to run, and I was open-minded about where I would go in the Middle East. And Tim Corden, CEO of Radisson, called me and he said, I've got this amazing resort in Saudi Arabia, and lo and behold, here I am, because this is like a piece of paradise. I fell into the hospitality industry by accident. So I started working as a waitress part-time, and then I realized very quickly, wow, this is a really people-centered industry. And even at that stage, I think I was 17, 18 at the time, I could see the potential of a career in this industry. And so I did my diploma in hotel and catering, and then I joined Holiday Inn, as it was way back then, as a room attendant, actually, cleaning 16 rooms a day. So I spent the next 2.5 years working in every single department on the ground floor. So I've done chambermaiding, room attendant, I've worked in the kitchen, I've worked on the reception, I've worked in reservations, I've worked in banqueting. I've done every job that there is possibly to do in the hotel from the ground floor up. At one time I was a public area cleaner, and I used to clean the general manager's office. And when he wasn't there, I used to sit behind his desk, and I set my goal there. And then one day, I'm going to be the general manager of a 5-star hotel. And then I get on and empty his bins and carry on cleaning the office. But I set my goal very early in my career, and I was very focused on that goal. So it took me 19 years to achieve that goal, but I stayed very focused on it, and I took all the learning I could get from anybody I could on the way up. The beautiful thing about the hospitality industry is every day is different. You work with so many amazing people. I've had phenomenal teachers, mentors, coaches along the way that have helped shape me into the leader that I am today. And it's an industry, as I say, that has so many possibilities, so many trades within it, you know, whether it's finance or HR or sales or operations or engineering. There's just every possibility that you could possibly imagine. And any time in a hotel, even if you only work in a hotel for a short time, that experience will stand you in good stead for whatever you choose to do after that time. What I've been really impressed about here is the energy of the people, of the Saudis in particular, and their appetite for growth and development. So it's a real privilege to run a resort with so many talented Saudis, and really to help them grow and develop. And I'm really excited to see some of them already progressing so well already. And I'm really looking forward to the journey ahead in the next few years, where I start to bring more Saudis into Nofa Resort and teach them more about the opportunities of the careers they could have in hospitality, and also see my own Saudis that are here already grow and develop and step up to take more senior leadership roles. And it would be my dream to develop one of my Saudis into a general manager of the future. I have travelled a little bit around Saudi. I mean, I have been to Jeddah. I still have a lot more to see. I really want to go to Alula. I want to see the Red Sea developments. There's some interesting resorts down there, which I'd like to see how they're developing and see if there's any best practice I can bring back and put into our resort here. I have been to the desert. Obviously, we have quite a bit of desert around us here. I have to admit the desert is still an unexplored area for me, but still an area full of potential for this resort. And we want to be able to develop some tents in the desert where you can have sunset experience in the desert, where you could probably have sunset and drinks and the camels coming home at the end of the day as well. So as we know, we have many camels, hundreds of camels on the resort as well. So the desert is something we want to incorporate more more into the lush green that we have around the resort. Running this amazing resort for Radisson, I don't have a huge amount of free time, but it's the first time I've been able to live so close to a golf course, and golf is a game I've always wanted to be able to learn, but I've always run city centre hotels before. It is a time-consuming game, so I have some friends that live in Riyadh that have very generously been coming up to Nofa and trying to teach this very poor student how I might learn this game, but it's always been an aspiration of mine because golf is played all the way around the world, and Nofa has a beautiful golf course, so I hope by the time, in a few years' time, I will be able to play this course a little bit more competently than I can now. So obviously having a busy, stressful job, one of my favourite things to do is to de-stress in a spa. I don't get the chance to do it very often, but every now and then I will entice one of my friends up from Riyadh to come and spend time with me to either have a pedicure. I like to do pedicure and manicure because you can chat and talk at the same time, and then sometimes I do that followed by a massage, which is absolutely bliss because that's total relaxation, gets all the stress out of my body and re-energizes me as a GM to go back out there and do it all again the next day. So we have a morning meeting at 10 o'clock every morning, and that's where we will go through what happened yesterday in the hotel, highlight any guest issues that might need to be followed up on, and then we look at what's going to happen in the next 24 hours in the hotel. We look at the events that are coming in, we look at the arrivals, we look at our VIPs that are due to arrive that day, and we make sure that we're fully prepared for everything that's due to happen in the hotel that day. We also use that meeting to update on all the functions, like engineering working on something particular in the hotel, have HR got something in terms of training or something that we need to be organised for. So each person that attends the meeting will go around the table and they will highlight anything important that's happening in their department that day that they need other departments to be aware of. So communication is key to running a hotel. So it's important that when they leave that meeting, they then cascade down whatever we've discussed in that meeting down to their team. So the idea is then everybody's fully informed about what's going on in the hotel for the next 24 hours. I think that the Saudi art scene is what they would call up and coming. So certainly it's something we actually want to incorporate here in Nofa Resort, is to bring artists here and use the incredible nature we have to have painting lessons and people to learn a little bit more about art. And we've had various Saudi artists come here and exhibit their work in the resort. So we were able to support some local artists to be able to exhibit and perhaps sell their work as well. So that's something that we intend to continue to do on the resort. In terms of socialising here in Saudi, I've been extraordinarily lucky because quite a few of my friends that I knew in Oman have recently moved to Riyadh as well. So on the odd days where I get off, I'm very lucky I'm able to go to Riyadh and socialise with some of my friends in the British Embassy, and I have other friends that are here from Oman and Bahrain as well. So I tend to head to Riyadh if I want to socialise, but also my friends enjoy coming to Nofa as well and spending time here. Quite a few of them are competent golfers, so they like to use the golf course and obviously visit the resort, and I have a beautiful house on the side of the golf course as well. So it's kind of nice nice to have people to come round and just do some socializing there. You know, Saudi hospitality is like many of the other Middle Eastern countries as well. Hospitality is at the heart of the culture of Arabic people, I feel. And particularly when they come here, it's like inviting them into their home from home at Nofa, and making sure that most of the people that come here to stay here are coming with their families. So it's leisure time. It's a very different experience than when you're running a corporate hotel and these people are visiting your hotel for business. So we try and make sure that the home comforts are here as much as possible to make sure that Saudis feel at home here, away from home. So we try to dress the rooms. We like to have little wow moments where we have surprises for the children. We have welcome messages on the beds. We try and put these little kind of touch points as well that make people feel at home and feel that this is a place where our purpose here is to celebrate nature and enrich lives. So what we want to do is everybody that comes here experiences some Saudi hospitality and feels that their life has been enriched by having spent some time here at Nofa. Well, obviously, chicken kabsa is probably my favourite Saudi dish because I've had so much of it since I've been here. But here in Nofa Resort and on the Nofa farm, we are very lucky. There are 60,000 date trees on the farm around the resort. So we grow the most spectacular dates here. So we try and use the produce from the farm. They grow amazing lemons. They grow grapefruits. They grow, say, thousands and thousands and thousands of dates, figs, and many, many other fruits. So what we try and do is incorporate that into dishes that complement Saudi food as well. And we're trying to use sustainability more. So use the produce that we have on the resort to incorporate them into our dishes, and also try and create Saudi dishes with a twist as well. Being an English person, I like my English breakfast tea. So I don't drink a lot of Arabic coffee, but obviously I drink it from time to time because it's expected and it's polite, and I don't want to offend my host. So, but I have to say, when I've had a few cups of Saudi coffee, I'm usually quite wired for the rest of the day because I find the caffeine very strong in it. I have learnt now to shake the cup to say I don't want any more. Otherwise, they're going to keep serving it to me, and I'll be even more wired after that. I tour the hotel twice a day. So when I come in the morning, I tour around, and when I go home, before I go home in the evening, it's the last thing I do before I go home, is I get in the golf buggy again and do a round of the hotel. Because people like to spend time with their senior leaders and their general manager in particular. And also for me, I need to see what the guest is seeing. So I pick up an awful lot from walking around the hotel, even looking at the landscaping, looking at the standards of cleanliness around the hotel. The success about being a general manager, I believe, is about having an engaged team. And so it's really one of the things I learned early on in my career is really look after your team, and your team will look after your guests. And it's really important to do that. So the welfare of the people that work with me is really fundamental to my heart, because I think people need to feel valued, appreciated and recognized for what they do. And many, I think, senior leaders sometimes forget where they've come from within the industry. And if the people that work at the coalface of the business, so the people that work in housekeeping or the people that work in the stewarding department in the kitchen, they are fundamentally as important as your ex-com members as well. Because without these people doing these jobs, none of us have a job to do. And you know, another group of people I think often get forgotten, particularly in hotels, is the people that work nights. You know, all that we sleep the night, and they are preparing the hotel, dealing with everything that goes on in night to make sure everything is ready for us to wake up, come to work and start again the next day. I'm delighted to say host of the month back of house is Vanessa in finance. So, come. I think recognition is fundamentally important. Everybody likes to be recognised, and so we have an Employee of the Month, both front of house and back of house, and so we do a little ceremony every month where we recognise these individuals. So we've recognised Vanessa from Finance today, and also Beda, who wasn't here but from front office, and then at the end of the year all of the Employees of the Month go into one pot, and then we decide on who's going to be Employee of the Year. So I'm always looking to find new ways that we can recognise people, make people feel valued, make people feel appreciated for what they do. Just to wish them happy birthday, and then we do one small celebration where we bring everybody together and we recognise everyone that's had a birthday that month with all their colleagues and teammates and friends around them as well. One of the really important things that we need to do here is we have to keep making sure that our food and beverage is always doing new creative things. So we're always trying to look at what else can we do to make people want to come back and visit our restaurants again. So we were trialling a beef Wellington promotion that we're about to launch in our Butcher's Den restaurant, and so we try and do little tastings so that we can see. So the chef might have an idea, then he shows it to us, then he cooks it, he presents it, we taste it, and then we agree what do we think commercially, how much do we think that's going to cost to produce, how much are we going to sell it for. So but always constantly looking to do new things, whether it's mocktails, whether it's changing menus, whether it's promotions. But we know if we want to stay fresh, food and beverage has to constantly reinvent itself, and we have to always be looking for new promotions to introduce into the resort to make our guests feel that there's something new every time they come back to us. Similarities between the British culture and the Saudi culture. I mean, I think that's an interesting question, because I think the cultures themselves are very different, but the UK is a very diverse country and a very multicultural country. And in actual fact, in the summer in London, you probably see more Middle Eastern people than you might see British people sometimes. But I think both cultures learn a little from each other. And I think definitely when you come to Saudi Arabia, the changes between other countries in the GCC are a little bit more different. So you do have to adapt a little bit more and respect the culture of this country as well. It is more conservative than perhaps other countries in the Middle East. So I think in terms of similarities, I think both cultures learn a little bit from each other. The thing I love about the Saudi culture is how family orientated it is, and being a family orientated person myself, I really appreciate that. The first thing most Saudis will ask you when they meet you is how are you and how is the family. So I think that most British people are also very close to their families as well. So for me, that's the similarity I see between the two cultures. Being away from my family, I think I've got used to it. I mean, we're much luckier now. When my parents were expats when I was a child, they had to, they only could communicate through letter. So having the internet and being able to connect with your family face to face via FaceTime or WhatsApp calls or anything it makes missing them a lot less, because sometimes you can even have the whole family on one call. So usually on a Sunday I always try and connect with all the family, so you can you still feel like you see them. So it doesn't feel as acute as missing them, like if I was leaving and I was going somewhere where you couldn't communicate with them. So yes, I definitely miss the family. Well, to be honest, a unique experience for me in Saudi Arabia has been taking up this position with Radisson at Nofa Resort, because it's the coolest job in the world. I mean, to run a resort that has a safari, has a bird centre, has horse riding, has golf, has an adventure playground, has an amazing spa, has a lake, has so many activities to do. I mean, this hotel is one of the most iconic and unique hotels in the world. So I just feel very blessed to have the opportunity to lead the teams in this phenomenal resort. My message to everyone out there is when you're trying to decide where should you take your next vacation, give Saudi Arabia some opportunity to present itself to you. There are so many amazing things to see in this phenomenal country. But first on your list should be Nofa Resort, because we've got so many activities, and this resort is like a little piece of paradise outside of the craziness of Riyadh. So go to Riyadh, enjoy all the beautiful things there, and when you need some real R&R, then come to Nofa Resort, a Radisson Collection hotel, and come here and rest, rejuvenate, and have your lives enriched by spending a little bit of time with me and our team here in this beautiful resort.